Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for all my African brothers and sisters. This is Big E. Here we start the Diaspora Show. Fortunately, I had some few issues that I had to take care of, and the technical part of it didn't come the way I wanted it. But here we are. Thank you so much for your patience. I know everybody's out there, and welcome to Big E Show. I'm going to start with a short prayer. Xavier, I really thank you for the day, for another day where we all can meet and voice our ideas, exchange our ideas, for giving us the strength to even be here at this time. May you bless us with all the words that we're going to be exchanging. And also that as your creator, you give us the day. So here we go. Amen. All right, I'm just going to start with Mika on the GoFundMe page. As you can see, there are some very powerful words that I really want everybody to kind of get into it. Let's put it that way. So here we go.
Usually, I never get used to read a speech, but for today, I'm gonna read a little speech that we wrote, and this will give you a full picture of what we stand for, where we are, and where we are going. It is indeed an auspicious occasion, a great honor and privilege to be here with you today to launch and celebrate a Nations of Union, One Africa. Swahili Nation One Africa is a global initiative founded to unite Africa, explore the abundant opportunities of growth that exist throughout the continent, harmonize ideas, and best steps to harness these for the benefit of both the young and old generations. To date, Africa remains a continent blessed with numerous resources, yet it is still the poorest in the world. There are numerous internal and external factors that causes this dissonance. The World Bank estimates that by the year 2050, sub-Saharan countries will be home to more than 1 billion people, half of whom will be under 25 years. This demographic stands the best chance at transforming the continent. The most dangerous poverty of all is mind poverty. Colonizers paralyzed Africa decades ago using the education system. The imperialists to date use the divide and rule principle. Africans have for decades been turned against each other. The family unity in Africa, which served a pivotal as a building block of human behavior and society at large, where formative values and respect and responsibility were instilled by parents, all the social order is now disintegrating. Should we sit back and continue complaining while cursing the neo-colonialists? My people, eradicating mind poverty in Africa starts by acknowledging our history, being aware of the present, building on the future, and learning from our mistakes. My people perished and being destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Knowledge remains the biggest challenge we face as Africans. Even with little knowledge we possess, partly our minds have been brainwashed and misinformed. The divide and rule approach of the colonialists remain prevalent even in the current times. Africa, we have allowed ourselves to be divided along with tribes, religion, skin color, clans, ethnicity, amongst others. One Africa, we declare our diversity is our strength. We embrace unity in diversity. Generations behind us are silently pleading for direction. The time is now to reconcile with ourselves, neighbors, and the whole continent. It will be a long road to healing, but in solidarity, we break away from the chains of division and walk the path to freedom. As we forge through this era of technological revolution, Africa should concurrently embrace transformative global trends, especially targeting our education policies. We should create tech corners and replicate across the continent to acquaint professionals in Africa with different trends on education and technology aimed at connecting them with the rest of the world. Unity, peace, and love run a resounding aloe. These three some can only come through initiative that promote equality of opportunity. Africa is the world's youngest continent with 60% of its population under the age of 25 years. Africa is an envy of the globe, accounting for 19% of the globe youth population. Let us tap into the readily available labor force of the young men and women and detract them from joining extremism. Free them from taking risk journeys across Mediterranean Sea and from appalling conditions and inhuman treatment some experience in the Gulf region. We need to harness the potential of our young people. World Bank estimate that 40% of youth who join extremism are motivated by economic inequality. The exodus of our youth and other professionals through legal or illegal immigration should be a concern for all of us. Our social fabric is being broken, yet human capital is in abundance in Africa. Africans, we have the power to reverse the brain drain into skills gain. I envision an Africa where everyone gets quality education and accessible health service, where no one will be scared to show their ethnicity, religion, or belief, where everyone can traverse freely without being scared of their safety, where everyone is respected for just being a human, where love and peace are our resources for being, giving is cherished, sacrificing in service for the benefit of others are honored, where integrity, honesty, hard work, and result-based leadership are the core motivation for all people, especially those who lead us. One Africa needs more than just talent and passion. We need a rich network of like-minded people, dedicated professionals, experts in various fields, and vast ideas on moving forward to bring about change and prosperity to our beautiful continent, Mother Africa. For a long time, Western media and other foreign nations have manipulated and distorted the truth about Africa for their own gain. No one else can defend Africa but Africans. No one else can support or change this continent, Africa, but Africans. Africa is our home. Africa is our heritage. Africa is our pride. Africa is for Africans. That's why you clap, guys. Thank you, thank you. Collapse the borders. We, the African youth, are ready and energized to build our continent into prosperity. We have the ability to solve our own challenges without external interference and manipulation. We are advancing to reach all Africans across the planet through conversation for a better Africa. We are on a mission to defend the image and heritage of Africa, to decolonize the mind through authentic knowledge, and create a bridge for oneness and peaceful Africa. The core essence of our unity is towards a one Africa of solidarity in peace and love. Knowledge is power. Our people need to be empowered through genuine knowledge based on our values, customs, beliefs, and Africa before colonization. Let us join hands and share in the vision of our humanity, the vision for a one Africa. With all humility, I pledge today that one Africa will unite and build Africa and its people despite of our differences, because our diversity is the key pillar of our unity. I sincerely thank and welcome you abroad to go with me in this journey. Thank you so much. Appreciate. Let me just finish by saying that my tribe is Africa. My tribe is one Africa. Whatever tribe you have, it's Africa. And that's how we can unite each other. Appreciate, guys. Thank you so much.
Isn't it a beautiful speech? Well delivered. I mean, to be out there, Brother Mika, again, we thank you for really putting everything out there, showing us out there. We really appreciate that. So I got a little treat again, that follows through that Army Kashabala in Godspeed. Very talented. So I'm going to share something with you guys. I know most of the family saw it before, but for those that just joined us, that's following us, here comes another treat where I want to share with you guys. And you're going to enjoy that. That's for sure.
In the corners of your heart, stood your beloved, your day star, the fairest among 10,000 wives. You formed the seasons and fixed the time. You gave me smiles in the morning light. Creation flowed from your love. You were crafty and I was pretty. You were laughing, I was reaching out for you. I was made for heaven. I was made for Jesus. I was made to walk the cool of the day with you. With you. Cursed in the garden of paradise, knew the pain from the Father's heart. To get us back, you gave it all. Filled in the likeness of flesh on earth, bore the cross that we deserve. We've gotten down on one knee. Spirit breathing on me, been saved and I'm seen. But I was made for heaven. I was made for Jesus. I was made to walk in the cool of the day with you. I was made for heaven. I was made for Jesus. I was made to walk in the cool of the day with you. With you. The whole point of my existence is to know you, Jesus. The whole point of my existence is to know you. Oh, the whole point of my existence is to know your love. The whole point of my existence is to know you, Lord. The whole point of my existence is to know your love. The whole point of my existence is to know your love. Is to know you, Lord. is soon on your love. I was made for heaven. Love is deep, deeper than the sea. Love is high, higher than the stars. Love is wide and long, is more than I can see. One can love the way like you do. Your love is deep, deeper than the sea. Love is high, higher than the stars. Love is wide and long, is more than I can see. No one can love me the way like you do. Your love is deeper than the sea, higher than the stars, brighter than the sun. You sent us your son, light of the world. No room for darkness, no more turning back. You call the beauty out of the ashes. Your perfect love lights up the darkness. For to see the light and no more blindness. Your kingdom, your glory shine. Your love is deeper than the sea, higher than the stars, brighter than the sun. You sent us your son, light of the world. No room for darkness, no more turning back. It's your love, the reason we live, the reason we move. We have our being in your love. All chains are gone, orphans are born, freedom for. Love is we worship you, we worship you, we worship you, we worship, we worship, we worship, we love you, Lord, 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 we love you, Lord. Hallelujah, hallelujah, reason we move. We have our being in your love. All chains are gone, orphans have homes, freedom for all.
There you have it. Talent. In case about that, we're very talented. Thank you for these treats. It's just unbelievable. Both songs. Cannot help it. It was back to back, and I hope everybody enjoyed that. It has a lot of message in it, and one of the thing is freedom for all, and that is very powerful. It's a freedom within us on how to do things freely, willingly, with no even but about it. You have a dream, dream big. Within that freedom, you will achieve big. So I'll tell everybody, dream big and let it be. There's a quote that I always like to quote as Lao Tzu that put in there. Life is a series of natural, spontaneous changes. Don't resist them. The only creates sorrow. Let reality be reality. Let things flow naturally forward in whatever way they like. I like that is the fact. These are the things that I started talking in my earlier conversation. Is that in order to change for the unity of Africa, every African has to change. And within that change, there's a flaw in life. That flaw, it has to be flawless. You just write on it, commit yourself. That's one thing that we always want to talk from here all the way to years to come. This is something that we're probably just going to have to pass it on to everybody. One is commitment. Two, consistency. Three, time and discipline. These four, if you really break them one at a time, you just look at commitment. The first word, it's a big word for anybody in their lives. You decide to do something. That means you're committed. You're committed into making things happen at the end of the result. So commitment is a very important factor for the Swahili Nation One Africa family. Our commitment is to make sure that we stay together toward change together. And I quoted another word along with that when he said only love. Okay. Only love can guide us to a peaceful Africa. Love is the bonding. Love is like bonding us together. Once we create that bonding, we can achieve anything we want. So going back to the most important thing that we talk about on this commitment, how committed are we to have our own offices? In order to achieve that, it needs commitment. If we have a commitment to achieve whatever we want to achieve, it is there. We can do that. It's very important that we really put ourselves committed. And the next thing, be consistent. That means you can share our ideas, you can share links, and bring everyone that you know to this one cause to make sure that we are represented in a map with an address that will help us really have a functional office. That office is going to be ours. Right now, we're trying to get certain things done, just getting the GoFundMe going. But at the same time, remember, this whole thing is for us, nobody else. It is us that's going to be committed to this. We build ourselves. We don't want no handout from anybody, but we built it with our own sweat and money because it's a very important mission. This mission, once it's fulfilled, I'm very sure a lot of people are going to join our cause. Now, the other thing that I would say is the consistency. So that means, okay, everybody donated, everybody did their parts, the office is open. But that office without participation, without being consistently supporting it, even by ideas, by suggestions, that office will be useless. So your participation is very important. Everybody has to participate in order to make this happen. Again, one, we got to be committed. If we're committed, we'll find all kind of ways of raising this fund. It's very important for all of us to have that commitment together by helping one another. So the next line comes for this matter is that stay united, stay strong, don't falter. Let us enjoy each other. And most of all, do not underestimate yourself. We should face all the trouble head on. If you're scared of other opinion, you won't ever win your life. Don't bow down to no one, but strive for the success of your legion to one Africa. Set your mind and emotion as one and make it happen. Change comes within. I pledge my allegiance to one Africa, show it off to the world. And again, when I wrote this, it was 1:11 a.m. in the morning. Look back and take big ahead. And it took a while to put these together. So it's very important that we all are on board and committed. It's very important. The other thing that I want to talk today, we had topics before that we started, but we quite there's so many news that's coming in and out, and also the coverage that we're trying to accomplish. It's the change. Okay. So the next one I'll go with the time and discipline. And when the time comes to really look ahead, time is an essence. Sometimes, if you don't use it, like I always said, you use your time wisely. So your investment, your thinking, your thought, every process that you have to be one Africa, what does it mean? You know, all that has to be put in one. So time is on our side now. The time for Africa to shine is now. When you have all these things that's happening in the world, this is the right opportunity that we all start thinking about our unity. I always said the unity has a price, but it has a cost. As our forefathers for the Pan-Africanism, they paid with their lives, a lot of them. And we are the one that's going to pick up on what it is and where it's left off. We're the one that's going to put the above foundation. The foundation's already there. It's just what we're going to build on it and how we're going to build it, how we're going to unite it. So there's a lot of work ahead of us that requires everybody's attentions. If you're an African, this is an African affair. Every African is accountable for anything that's happening in the continent, whether it's the killing, when somebody kills somebody, somebody has to bring that person to justice. And when we start practicing that by demanding justice, not political fights, but demanding justice for those that died for nothing, the innocents, the children. Right there, this idea itself, we should be united, condemn any murders, any other thing that comes of killing one African by another African. That's a murder, and it has to be questioned. As united, I think in that front, we should be all united. Look at what happened in Morocco. We should condemn that altogether. Look at what's happening in Ethiopia. We should condemn that. The unity is by holding on to the truth. It's the fact. These people died, and some of them got buried, some of them was left out somewhere. But for those that passed, may God bless their souls and let them rest in peace. But again, for every time that you're going to say rest in peace, we want to make sure that someone is accountable. If it is natural, it's natural cause. There's no problem. But if it is something that was by man-made, we have to question it. So, in order to get these things moving forward, again, the time is with us. Okay. We're going to need to change the old way, ending the old way. When you end the old way to come into a new beginning, there's this phase, what do you call, a neutral zone. So that means you still like the old way, and now there's change because the change has come now. The change is now. The time is now. To adapt to the new beginning, you got this back and forth mind. So you become in the neutral zone before you fully understand until somebody really picks you up and saying, this is what's happening. This is how we're going to do it. That's when you start with a new beginning. Again, you use your time. Now you're committed to accept with a new change. one of the things that human beings we cannot do is when change comes, it's very hard to get rid of the old ways. This change can't come because of the time. Time change. As the time change, we have to change along with the time. It's like the four-season weather, the way you dress during the summertime and then the way you're going to be dressing in the wintertime. I don't think the two would be really matching side unless you are really a bear, I'll put it that way, but you're human. So we even adapt with the weather change. We change our clothes. We do differently. We think differently. So it's very clear. So in order on the endings, identify who's likely to lose. What would this change comes? What are you going to lose by leaving the old thinking? Well, we need to clarify why the ending is. So when you start changing, you're going from the old, adapt, and go forward. Define clearly what is ending and what is not. And you mark the ending. Allow for the resistance and grieving over the loss in a variety of ways with different timelines. So basically, you kind of don't want to change, but you need to change. So you got to grieve over this loss of whatever the opportunity that you might use it for. But now there's a different way, different timeline. So this is the time that we all understand the old way of thinking. That means a lot of negative things that's coming to hold us back on our unity going forward. All that has to be old. We got to move forward. If it is old and there's a new way, learn a little bit from the old, see the change. The change comes based on the old. Because if there's no old ending, there won't be new beginning. So basically nothing changed. But when you do change, when you commit yourself to do something about Africa, this is the discussion about your commitment to do something for Africa. In whatever field that you are, if you're rich, if you are intelligent, any different part of life as an African, and you can help, and you commit yourself by sharing your idea, by helping, by loving, by caring, just the way you do it within your own family, because this is your family. It's very important that we understand time is now. This is our time. This is where we're going to look at things clearly. You have to find ways to honor the past. Allow people to take a piece of the past with them. And we are really committed. Yes, I am committed. Mika Shawala is committed. Everybody else on this show is committed. I know. But we need to get this forward thinking by absolutely sharing everything that we discuss about and bring it to an acknowledgement and normalize the discomfort that we have among Africans. Create this love. That's why I always said this love that we're talking about, this is our bonding. This is how we are together. And it's very important. It's a very important piece that will help us to go forward into the new beginning. The new beginning is the thinking, the way we think, the only way thinking. I'm this nation, that nation, that. No, we are all one Africa. That's the next new beginning. Be African, and the rest take place. As long you're an African, from one end of the continent to the other end of the continent, that is your continent. But always been there. You got colonized, you got this and that, decolonized. We did everything that left and right. At the end of the day, you're an African. From one end of the continent to the other continent, that's your continent. This is the attitude we have to take. It's my continent. It's very important that you take a step saying, this is my continent. I am African. You have to have an ownership. It's yours. And all of us are brothers and sisters to share it, to live within it peacefully. We have to secure our food. Definitely. We need to feed ourselves and our people. There's one Africa, and as an African, like I said, from one end of the continent to the other, if you heard it, you can help it, help. And bring that help fast as possible. We've got a lot of mission to do. We've got a lot of work to do. And again, it's like, are you in or are you out? So let's start by saying, yes, I'm an African. That's my continent. Let that resonate. Not just on a small, tiny scale, but that's your continent. This is the part where you are disciplined. This is the discipline. Our discipline shows that we are proud Africans. And that never change. It's been there from the old, but it's a new beginning as one. That's what it is, the whole effort that we all here as Swahili Nation One Africa, we keep consistently bringing different subjects 7 days a week. Everybody's volunteer. Everybody volunteered their time, dedicated their time. There's a lot of things behind the scene. Even that is dedication. That's discipline. There is some time that we all have certain personal days that we need to do certain things on the day of our show, but no matter what, we'll cover it. We'll cover each other. That's how Africa should be, covering for each other, helping one another. A lot of people talk about the resource in Africa. The mineral, all the mineral and stuff, yeah, just there. But mostly, we have the human resource. That human resource is the one that we need to protect. Make sure that we feed them bring waters. Making sure that we are in there, helping, giving hands. So, identify resources to help navigate some of the state that we're going to go through. probably need, you know, different meetings, different networks. We have a lot of African networks. And one of the questions from Yonatan yesterday was, yeah, that putting this network and march together for that one purpose of one Africa. Going back to this fundraising, that right there will encourage all Africans. Wow, we have our own office and built by ourselves. Our money, our time is something that we're going to be proud of. We need to increase and encourage creative thinking and discussion. At the beginning of Swahili Nation, when we started, it was like a YouTube. Again, from just YouTube, it become an active, working channel. Yes, we pass our information through the YouTube, but behind it, we got so many other works that we're doing and coming through. And that is a change. Our creative thinking and discussion made it happen to this level at this time. And then what happened is we're going to be providing an environment for the African citizen to experiment and take risks without having the fear of being punished for failures. And that is very important. I just put it the way I put it together. So now I'm just gonna put my link, for those of you who like to join me and discuss further, because I shared it, provide an environment for the African citizen to experiment and take risks without having the fear of being punished for failure. Think about it. Those of you who would like to join me, I'm going to put the link again on the board. There we go. All right. Now let me go my comment in here. Yeah, Jonathan, he said, "What about it? Welcome, welcome. Thank you, Marit. Sam has gone. I see Sam Wolf. How to learn language Swahili. There's a show on Thursday with Paul. You can join him. I believe he's at 6 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. I can verify it, but 6 p.m. African time, East Africa time, 6 p.m. So you might as well join that team, and you can have all your questions. Anybody from Kenya or Tanzania? Definitely, we should have somebody that can guide you more. All right. Bahailu, this is BE. Mika is not on the show today, so he probably gonna get that message. He probably sees it. We'll pass it on to Mika. Okay. Moving on the new beginning. The new beginning. How do we transit from the old to the new. So we have to kind of, again, when I put it on the neutral zone coming into the new beginning, is create ways to get Africans involved in creating a strategy, a strategized an action plan for each of the phase of transition process. Meaning, if there's information that the Swahili nation is not delivering, if there's any place where it throws you into not understanding the way of our mission, or any question that you might have, one is you ask, you question, and get answers. But our strategy now to this one Africa, as Africans, we have to be very creative in our way of thinking, or action plans has to support the transition process. That means we're going stronger and stronger, since we're always going to hit for the low-hanging fruit, as we all said. We can come together collectively and come to solutions for anything that's going to help us to move forward. In other words, anything that's going to help to unify us as a family here, our followers, people that really watch this Swahili Nation One Africa. That's all we try to do. We're talking, solving, learning from one another. A lot of information that I don't know comes through Swahili Nation. I have great colleagues and great hosts that bring different, very, very different topics. And as you all know, and okay, I just got a question from Marit. She said, Biggie, can you share about how you see yourself as African living in diaspora? Yes, I'll answer that one. Is that I always look back toward my motherland. I've been in the US, and I lived in the US for quite a while. But again, I'm still African. I'm still there. So never, even though my body's here, and always I have my thoughts about back home. Yes, I've been, thanks to God, I've been successful, did my things, what I need to do. And now it's time for me to contribute to my dearest Africa. It's something like I have to contribute to Africa. My father did it, so father like son, and I'm doing it. I'm returning some of the things that I can help Africa with. I hope that answer. Yes, I still feel more at home in Africa. Absolutely. Absolutely. There are places even that I grew up with, and still looking forward to see them again, including my friends, my families. So getting back to some of the action plan that I had for today, again, as you all know, there's a lot of graduation, a lot of other celebration. In fact, there's a Ethiopian soccer game that's going to end tomorrow. It's like all players will come from different states and compete, and we'll see who's going to be the champion. And need to follow some of that. Also, I had some people that are that came in from out of state, but that's another thing that I'll follow if I find some people. Probably going to have a pre-recorded interviews and stuff when it comes to that. All Ethiopians throughout the states coming together and having this soccer match, football match, put it that way. It's amazing. It's an organization that's been doing this every year. So that's another venue that we can really support watching a nice soccer game from state to state, and each state is represented, most of the states, not all, but the competing states are represented. And if you do that for soccer match, what can you do when it comes to Africa? Are we encouraging of what One Africa move is, and are we together? So that means it shows they've been doing this for years and years. So that means we can start now and commit into something that comes every day in our conscious, actually. I always said, eat, drink, sleep, Africa, right? And eventually, that light bulb is going to be creative enough to guide you through it, because that's your passion. And the other thing that I would say also in this new beginning, you got to build your own self-awareness of your action to ensure you are really effectively modeling the new attitude and behaviors being asked of others. So again, this is where the change is. You're building your own self-awareness of your actions. So for every action, there's a reaction. At the same time, your action has to be really positive, and you got to be self-aware of the changes, and you accept them. Once you accept them, then you can convey it also to others. If you're not accepting them, how can you expect somebody to accept it? You start within yourself. So you got to build that self-awareness, your own self-awareness for any changes. You have to also recognize people that really put themselves and contributed for anything that's being required into this One Africa. They should be recognized. They can be business entities. They can be an individual. We human. In order to go forward, we're always like, to hear something nice. When people really thank you for what you did. And sincere thank you always go further. And we humans have that ability to sense it, the sincerity. And if we encourage each other and really appreciate what they're doing for their work to bring it to this level, it's very important to give them thanks. It goes a long way. I think sometimes people do work, but at the same time not being recognized for what they did. But they never stop. They won't be stopping, because they always have their understanding that people still follow their encouragement and they're doing. Okay, so that's what I would say for today. The ending the old, the neutral zoning as well, going into the new beginning. So our new beginning is, let's fund our office. I cannot emphasize more. We fund our office This is our, the future is on our hand. It's us, built by us. So pledge again. We're trying to, as Marit said, we still need 4,000 by the end of the week. So let's pledge. Please share, show it to your friends, your family. It's very important that it's €5 for 5,000. That gives us 25,000. But right now we are on 3312, which is 3,312. So let's commit ourselves to make that 4,000 at the end of the week. I'm very ambitious. If I can get it today, it would be great. And I really appreciate everybody that's out there sharing this information, because this is going to be our own office, nobody else. We'll be so proud. And those that contributed, they know which way we're headed. And thank you for your support again. We really appreciate that. Sam showed up. All right, Sam, where we at with your show? I'm still waiting for that. Yeah, I don't see it yet. Mari, don't you think Sam is time is now? It's coming soon. Okay. All right, I'm just going to move for another one that I really looked at, why these changes and all that comes. I look at the way the colonization that comes through Africa, things that we get bombarded is through social services, the education, the media, the religion, entertainment, economics, and then through government. These are the things that would really get hit. Okay, Sam, I see that. All right. I'll take your word, No rush. Don't rush, okay? I'll take your word. I know you got a timeline to go by. So hopefully you come soon. You got a lot of fans. A lot of people are looking for you. You got a lot of people. In fact, I'm going to make a so big announcement. I'll give me about 2 weeks so I can have some nice commercial, infomercial Sam coming on stage. Everybody said that. I know Sam will be here. All right. So these are the things, what do you call that? That we need to reverse. Yeah, Buyak, how you doing? You got to say something about that. Okay. Anyway, sorry, I've been reading some of the comments, so I got distracted a little bit. But again, when you look at these pillars that really can make or most of them have been used to really put the influence in Africa on the social services, education, media, religion, entertainment, economics, and as well the government. But at the same time, we have to be smart enough now to use the same trail and to push back. We're going to get our own social services. That's going to push back. Our own education that goes back. Then media through our religion. Also, each religion is all respected, so we have to reinforce, because we're supposed to respect each other's religion anyway. Because religion, I always said, is personal, so we have to respect people with religion. When it comes to divide, like, no, it's personal. So you're not going to divide me by religion. So you can put it back where you came from. The entertainment, if it is something that is not within the what do you call them? It's all in the media, and it's part of our education. What is good, what's bad within our African children's, because it's like monkeys see, monkey do, because they're gonna mimic whatever that comes in from the west, coming into, it can be west, east, it doesn't matter. It literally becomes non-African, but when it comes to music and all that, the origination is through Africa. But again, there are different other entertainment, particularly what they push into Africa, and it creates this really conflict with parents, because the youngest having conflict with the siblings. Uh, you create chaos already within the household, let alone through nations. So that's something that we got to watch. The next one is economy. If the economy is not sound, how can we, as people, as human living in the continent, how can we improve our economy? Well, the economy, to improve, you have to have all the workforce at hand to work, literally, and to make sure the production is meaningful for themselves and as well to the country. And we're always going to be attacked because of our economies. The other thing is through our governments. There'll be one government that's going to influence the other government, and at the end of the day, you know, uh, the government is influenced, and sometimes you end up in a war, depending on what's doing what. So we need to make sure that we block that part. The government is supposed to be for the people, by the people. If it doesn't act that way, you're just gonna have to vote them out. You have to have the strength. Like I said at the beginning, stay united, stay strong, don't falter. Let us enjoy each other. That's how we're gonna be defeating that part. It's all reverse, because you don't need to create the will. The will is there. We identified it, and it's how to tackle it back. The next one that I really targeted countries in my discussion, I told you before, is Kenya, Ethiopia, Ghana, South Africa. These are the major ones that are under attack, left and right. Eritrea is not even in there. I was very surprised, but again, Isaias Afwerki don't play. He closed everything. He said no. He doesn't want to be any part of it. He just want to make sure that he's got a safe country. That's all. So those of you that are out there who would like to join my panel, I'm going to put my invite and further discuss. All right. There you go. It's all shared in there. Yes, there's one that I would like to share, but just give me a second. All right. I was just sorting out and found another one that I really want to share. It's an amazing one.
One the issue that we're facing in Africa is that right now, when you look at the leadership position, most of the people are old generation. And I have just one cry to the old generation that they have to prepare the next generation to become a leader. Like, who will take over your government after you're gone? Who will take over your country after you're gone? That's something that we don't think of. We don't think of Africa in 20 or 50 or 100 years to come. So we cannot keep complaining about that. So us as a young generation, we have to understand that the power is in our hands. If more than 60% are youth, that means they are, Africans are most likely to listen to me than to somebody else because I connect with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, we understand how the world work in this generation, but we need the old generation as well for the wisdom and guidance as well to what we are doing. So my call is that for young Africans, to create stuff, organizations, NGOs, companies, things that will help us to move us forward. Because after 10, 20 years from now, the old generation will be gone and will be the one in charge. How are we preparing ourselves right now for the next generation, for the next coming few years of Africa?
Future of Africa.
The thing is about history. A lot of Africans, we don't know about our history. The only history we know is after colonialism. The colonizers, when they came, they really wanted to get rid of our history. That's why you find out, for example, a lot of heritages we have in Africa, they're named after their name. For example, the Victoria Lake. But we have our local names back in the day. So when they came, they pretty much got rid of our history. Not only that, but they stole some of our artifacts and history books. Right now, we don't have them here in Africa, but they are abroad somewhere there. But why did they do that? They did that so that they can disconnect us from our past. And the only thing we know right now is the history of Africa during colonialism and after colonialism, which in fact it's not the reality of Africa. We had Africa before colonialism. We had the whole different system of Africans that were built by Africans. So it's really hard to be connected with the past if we don't really know where we're coming from. So the challenge that we have is to get to know the history of Africa before colonialism. And how do we get to know that? We don't have books. Our books were taken away. That's why in our platform, Soul Nation One Africa, we're actually fighting to bring back all the heritage of Africa to our continent so that we may start experimenting, we may start learning what is Africa before colonialism. And I think at that moment, it will help us to embrace the present as well as to prepare ourselves for the future. Right now, it's hardly to find young people like you and me watching television or news or something like that. We all have smartphones. You know, we see everything from our smartphone and social medias, and we need to take advantage of that. But we have one challenge. I've been working on my social media, for example, my Twitter, it has been censored right now, like for a long time, for more than 3 months, I guess. Even when I post something, you know, people they don't really see. YouTube as well right now is being censored. I can see the analysis how they're going down. So the challenge we have is us African coming up with our own platforms, right? And right now in Soil Nation One Africa, we're working on an amazing social media platform. It's more than social media, called Triangle, and tomorrow I'll be able to present here. This it's kind of um, like disattach ourselves from the system that were created by the Westerners, and as African, we're working on our own system that created by Africans for the Africans. So until we reach that point, then we'll be able to address what we want to address about Africa. Because right now everything is negative because they have their own agenda. You cannot expect American media to speak positive things about Africa. Yeah, they have their own agenda and they have their own goals, right? And we need to have our own agenda and our own goals with our own medias. And that's why the Swahili Nation network, we call it SNN, Swahili Nation Network. It's not just a YouTube channel, but it's an African media that is working for Africa and by Africans and for the Africans.
Finally, this Africa Day, let's celebrate youth across the continent. Youth are Africa's greatest unifying resource, and in keeping with the right tools and skills, they can drive the progress that Africa Day exists to honor.
Again, again, so much powerful, so powerful speeches. Again, Mika Shavala, we're proud of you. Thank you for delivering all these messages. It's a lot of work, and we really, really appreciate you. Great message. I see, Sam, you just found out about Eritrean Sea because Eritrean Sea was at the time of Moses, and the Nile was the Reed Sea, Reeds, Reed Sea. So there's a lot of information that the Red Sea came later. You know, it's a later name. We can go through that, but anyway, these are the past video that I showed is really pushing more into the change, and would change us among each other. And you see how much Mika is putting out there. There's so many videos. Make sure that you like and subscribe. As it is, you know, the algorithm change. There's a lot of things that's really going a while, but we, as African families here on this channel, those of you listen later on, we're gonna fund ourselves by ourselves. No handout. When the Twitter's working, the other one not working, we'll have our own website. We are still in the making. It's gonna come out soon. But at the same time, we're gonna have our own platforms to support our own self. It won't be easy to take us out or anything because that's going to be our own platform. So that's one of the things that we told you that we're going to. It's one of the milestones that we're going to achieve. And this maybe by next month, the beginning of next month. But I have to check how the schedule is working. But there's a lot of good thing coming in, and I don't know if my brother Ridge is there. We got another one that we're waiting on. It's a triangle, the software. So there's a lot of work. There's a lot of change. Really, we changed it within the last 8 months. Really, it's been hard work from everybody. 10 months, almost 10 months. It was a hard work from the family on this channel by collectively putting things together and move faster and faster. And the fact that Mika went on the first time and then went the second time for the youth summit and delivered this beautiful speech, that's very encouraging. Very encouraging. Mika has gone different places, different interviews. That right there should motivate us and do even greater things with him. We'll achieve that. We're definitely going to achieve that. And I never back down from that mission because I'm one proud African. Just start with me. If you said to yourself, I'm a proud African, and that's all it has to sink in you, you will hear it. You're always going to hear it inside of you. And again, I'm probably going to make this a little bit short today because the fact that I got to go a few places again. I'm trying to bring our people in. But those of you who would like to join me. Amoyak, you're still there. If you can join me, that would be great, unless you're making injera. Sam, I know, is not ready yet. Because you bring some discussion on Eritreum in Traditionium. Okay. The other the other thing that I've been really focused on is the it's like a checklist, because this checklist is going to be helping us out onto achieving our goals. So I'm going to be working on. I've been working on it on the back, but it's not finished yet. But it's a checklist, just the way I just told you, identifying all these target countries, and as well how we've been manipulated through different kind of pillars, social services, education, media, and how to do and go about it. I've been talking this week on a couple of different channels, but it's a plan. It's a achievable goals, very achievable, low hanging fruit, non controversial, no controversy to it, just straightforward works that can be done by Africans, just us, by Africans, without any other help, but within where we can really do something, and that doing comes fruitful, and how to replicate the same one throughout the continent. So basically, it's creating a process, not something that's going to be, sometimes, we always look for the big thing, but there are small things, very small things that we need to identify. Once it's identified, I'm just going to list them. I'll ask all my SN hosts to post that on their show and see how many answers we get, how many people respond to those, then making it achievable. So you'll see something in the making from just like when you prepare the dough with the flour, the water, and then when you put it together at the end, it goes to the oven. The end result, you got bread. Okay. I want something very organic, very easy, and I'm open to listen to any suggestion. Just the way, like I said, the flour, water. You got to put some muscle in it, right? You know, you got to create your dough. From the dough, you put it in the oven, and the end result is this beautiful bread. That's the idea that I want to hit as many low hanging fruit and the possibility how he managed it within Africa, not in the U.S., not in different other places, but the fact that's been done within Africa and to promote Africa, that another African did that, and having some kind of a checklist on what and how we've done it, how we achieved it, because it has a beginning and the end result. So we want to be result oriented, just the way we still are result oriented organization. And we got milestone to hit, and we're going to have to push more on those milestones to be achieved. And there's certain milestone that I have to achieve on my side, even though I've been traveling, but you need to make sure that it gets done. So for every milestone that you already set, the goal is to achieve the milestone. That's why they call a milestone to begin with. So it's in the work, and just picking a few things from it. That's what it's a checklist for managing through 3 phases. And so, like I was saying, the ending the old, the neutral, and the new beginning, and the same aspect of it. The way it used to get done, it's an idea. The way it used to be done in the old fashion or the old way, and how the new way came, and how it has been accepted, and at the end, who got the final result, the new beginning. It should not be complicated. It should be easy thing, but it gives us the practice of change. That change, we can keep saying change, but different people will see change differently. But our goal is to be changing, to move forward to the new beginning. Any comment on that, Abiyak? Or Marid? Yes, I see in Shabaka, the unity and organization of Africa is a must. Organization is the weapon of the oppressed. Yes, true that. Very true. And through that, just through that checklist, right, that I just mentioned, I'm going to use Shabaka word in here, the unity, okay? The unity and organization of Africa is a must, right? So there are a key word in here. Unity, of course, and organization. Now I'll take that and I'll put the organization of unity. Okay? So we're going to come to the old word, not AU, African United, which is not, but again, we still are in the OAU. You see? Because OAU went through certain phase, the independence of all countries. But again, after the independence, they still needed to form this organization, which becomes AU. So they jumped ship from being an organization of Africa unity. They just called it AU. Yeah, African United. You know, it's there, but we're still in work in progress. So it should stay as OAU. Then once you achieve a certain milestone, then create the AU. I believe the milestone was just through the independence of the African independence for all the colonized nation to be independent. But again, we have to have a developing part of it. And AU is always influenced by the West. African Union, the African Union itself is getting money from different sources. Even that, we have to think about it because different hands into our African affairs. But when it was OAU, it was purely, literally African fighting for independence. There was no interference. They tried, but there was no interference. So we should still, when we say the unity and organization of Africa is a must. And as you said, that's because OAU got organized that we will become the weapon for freedom for all the colonized countries in Africa. And that was the first thing, the first thing that they hit, and they know where Haile Selassie was going. You know, we were in the what do you call it, treaty before United Nations. The first country that they attacked was Ethiopia. That was Italian that invaded Ethiopia. But again, you know, we turned that back again and get them out. So when OAU formed, that was the main purpose. Yes, you can laugh about us now, but we're gonna laugh at you tomorrow. So that's when I was saying, who's laughing now? That was some code. It's like, who's laughing now after all the nations being decolonized and literally have the independence? So again, in that, Shabaka, thank you. This is a very powerful words that you used, and it's definitely a weapon. I know Abuyaki cannot make it, but I'm glad he's still on the background. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Okay. So these, now my next one, just going to be short, but this is a Diaspora Talk. In Diaspora Talks, I expected some people to come in earlier, but there were different things in this soccer game going. It's like a very conflicting time for them. Actually, there's the next game I think it's going to start now. But again, we're still going to schedule some for next week. But other than that, there's the relation, always the diaspora and the African. And I heard on some stations, it's like, why you keep clinging on the diaspora? Well, the diaspora, there's a lot of things that diaspora can help, because that's his continent too. He might live abroad, but that's his continent. Just like me, I'm a diaspora. But again, there's a lot of tie, not only just because I'm an African, but the fact that I was born in there too, that makes a whole lot of difference. That I'm still tied to to my motherland. So it's very equally important that the diaspora went there, we got the opportunity. Now those who got opportunity, they can be the big brother, big sisters in Africa. It's like the Million Man March in DC was Louis Farrakhan. There was one question that he asked. We got a lot of orphans, a lot of kids that need to be adopted, and he asked, "Who can adopt a child?" Over 25,000 showed up. Just looking at it, it was an amazing. It was just a simple question. 25,000 people showed up. This is the Million Man March, and that really shows you we have to ask the right question. If we ask the right question, we should be able to get the right answer within the diaspora. Because diaspora is ready to help. As long as you have the right question and what you want out of diaspora, the diaspora is always there to help. I've seen it several times. The helping hand, financially as well, physically, including going to their home of origin, especially if they are surgeons and doctors. They went and did the services by going through clinic or maybe teaching how to do certain surgery techniques, how to get certain things done in their field. Yes, they come home because the right question was asked. For the things that we lack in Africa, knowledge, tools, all that, that the diaspora can supply, and the diaspora did it on several occasions. They went to get water out. They went on the water missions. They went on healthcare, on education. In fact, my daughter went to on a summer program teaching English to a school somewhere in Sidiskilo. It was amazing. And I asked her how she felt. She said, "Oh my God, this is the best thing." One thing that I know is we had to really spend money in getting their papers, pencil, everything. But it was worth it because the right question was asked. And so that's why the unity of the diaspora in Africa is very important. There's a lot of other information that can be miscued, mismanaged, misdirected, disinformation. Without those things, yes, the diaspora is always willing to help. It's just it has to be asked the right questions. And those questions, we'll have a list of questions that a diaspora can be asked, from knowledge all the way to finance. And sometimes, that knowledge is so powerful that it'll take let's say, just a simple class on YouTube, part of being networked, let's say, Swahili Nation One Africa. We can create those classes. We can create certain level of education of technical, or especially we have great doctors in Africa, but they lack certain trainings, and these are the people that's going to come at rescue, basically train the trainer. You know, if you want to learn, share it, pass it, and then the next thing you know is you got a bunch of experts train the process. So we've got a lot of activities, a lot of other untouched areas that now we can begin to question. And so again, remember, the right question, the right answer, you'll get it. You put a little bit division, hatred, anything, that's gonna be not. It's not gonna reach. It's gonna be dissolved. But anything else, I always said that diaspora involvement. You ask the diaspora the right question and where you need help. They'll find you the help. He will find you the help. So again, Africa, ask the right question to collaborate with the diaspora, because they have advantages. They have the way, and there's always a way. And again, like Marit said, yes, you see, unity is needed in the diaspora. Okay, yes, but again, that unity, it comes through question. You see, you're diaspora, yeah, you can say diaspora, no problem. But if an African from back home asks the right question, what that unity is saying, if he cannot answer it, even though he doesn't have the unity, he's supposed to be able to get the answer for him, because this should be an African matter. And the mentally, it should help when somebody's asking for the help. Even though he knows on the other side, he's going to have to cross the other side in order to get the information. But that question, whatever that question is, it should be answered. It's no or yes, but most of the time, this kind of question, when it comes to knowledge or way of doing things, or actual physical, like Dr. Bean coming home, that if they got time and it's a problem, and I've seen it, common problem, especially mothers when they deliver, there's certain thing that happens to them, and they need a special surgeons in order to make sure that they do what they need to do and teach others. And it was a big mission. I mean, it was few doctors, but it was very successful. And in fact, the local doctor knew how to get that surgery done. I just don't want to go in detail, and it's going to take us to another topic. But yes, the right question that has always the right answer through the diaspora, and the unity of the diaspora, like you said, yes, just the way you have, the African as a continent here, there won't be no, border of that. It's how we treat each other, how we can put something together and follow through. There are some organizations, they do their things, but at the same time, it's not inclusive. Put it that way. It's a certain elite. Put it that way, elite, or something that's going to be on a high level, and then the regular diaspora, even though he's intelligent and educated and all that, but he's not within that group. Like you said, you're right. The diaspora needs a complete overhaul, put it that way. Not overhaul, but the list of things to do, achievable goals. Where's the misunderstanding? Where's the understanding? Where can we be going wrong? Where can we identify the change and accept the change and be the change? All that, you're absolutely right. Right? Any other? Let me see. This time you're asking who's playing. I wonder. You're asking Awayak. All right. So, I'm just going to make a hard stop in the next 10 minutes. If anybody has any question, I'm going to be ready to do my fundraising. I'm just going to make sure that I don't miss this meeting. And so again, family, I really, really appreciate it for joining me. It's going to be a very short, one of the shortest show. But again, I really appreciate it. I really thank you for joining me and supporting me and supporting Swahili Nation. Please make sure that you pass on this fundraising to your family. Make sure that you share it with everybody that you know, even in the diaspora. Again, for that fact, you brought it in here, Marita. So I might as well use that same thing that we need to have the funding link to everybody. And the funding link, if you look at under your subscriber and you look at the detail, it's already there. And for me, I'm going to share it again on the copy. And I'm just going to share it under our link so everybody can have that. There we go. Yeah. Yes, well, you said there's many Diaspora Talk space, be it on the Twitter, Clubhouse. Yeah, I think the collaboration, the whole idea is we have a lot of African channels, and if you go down the line and we can really collaborate with everything that they have and what we have as the networks, and bring more people into this pods, put it that way, that's like where everybody can see everything they need to see and share the ideas within their spaces, within their Twitters, within their Clubhouse and all that. Yeah, there's collaboration between several channels with the same aspiration. Yeah. Well, you see, Awiak, you got the idea. You see, you're engaged. I know that you're engaged. I know you're committed yourself, including Sam and all that, and Reed. I think maybe I'm going to give you that mission Wayak, maybe the list to do. You remember the change that I was telling you? I'm going to try to find that link that I did say. Okay. I'm trying to find it. Yeah, it says, there you go. For a minute, I thought I lost it. That unity, like you said, the diaspora unity is, we have different aspect of putting the diaspora unified. One is, if the base is saying African, they definitely would say, okay, now Africa is one, is African. Now I'm going to have to change into the exception and the acceptance, not just saying I'm Ethiopian, I'm Eritrean, I'm Somali, I'm Kenyan, but I'm African. That attitude will make the unity. It's not just about a single nation. If you really make it a diaspora, African diaspora, to be one is the unity of all of us for the betterment of Africa. That's the message that has to be clearly stated, and unite through events, through correctional events also. That unity, non-political, humanitarian aspect of it, I think that will be easily achieved as humanitarian. But when it comes to political stuff, within the organization itself, if you really have a good diaspora organization of it, as we are the same line of one thing or goals, and they have a different political view, then it becomes, you keep washing it, it never get clean. It's like a little stain that moves around, put it that way. It's not permanent because we can fix that. And we can fix it only when we sit down and discuss about those issues and have a good debate and bring it down to a level that everybody can live by. So you're right. Again, it needs that. It needs the unity of the diaspora. And on my back, two shows ago, I started the show saying interlacing the diaspora in the continent, the African continent. That's the phase. First, I said Africa has to have that unity. And then diaspora have the same unity, not the status of being diaspora, but again, we're married to saying, yes, that unity, the understanding, and then how to interlace and weave it to the African continent. Okay. I got a question from Sam. Do you have any suggestion of how we can just unite and just love others, love each other? Well, Sam, I had a great talk in length about unity and also love. Okay. The the understanding of a unity, okay, it starts with that self. You know, you have to be. It's so funny. It's going to sound funny, but you have to be united yourself. You know, when I say that is your mind, okay, and your emotion, they have to be one. In order to have this bond, also, there's this energy of love, which is a bounder. So that would create a person that's loving, self-loving, caring. So that means if you are in these two, then you are a person that can transmit this contagious love. And that love, that's how, if you look at it from the opposite sex, the way they attract, his mind, her mind, and the emotion, they in line. She wants him, he wants her. And when they get this stronger and stronger, they're bonded. And that's the energy. So my suggestion is a practice. Practice every day that you are African. You love Africa. And enhance what you love about Africa and what you can do for Africa. In that training, and that's when you start achieving a goal that's going to come closer, closer, closer to what we're going to define the unity of Africa. And as well, it gives you the idea just being united, it doesn't work that way. Because each of us have to change, that big change. Your mind and emotion has to be one in order to move peacefully. Because your mind is wanting this unity. And you might have some idea, but it doesn't matter. Even when you're struck by love, nobody expects that energy to come. It just happens. It's a flash. For me, if your mind is not at peace and you are full of emotion and emotion is flooding you, it's very hard that you can fluctuate between the two. But once the two are saying they're on the same line and they're bonded by love, and that is the most powerful stand when it comes to the question. Did I answer your question, Sam? I just want to make sure. Yeah, I can see on some of the comment, yeah, again on the diaspora and between you and Sam, yeah, that's what they call disinformation. Okay, they stop collecting some of the narrative that goes around, you gotta find a source, different sources before fanning the problem. Because when everything is peace, nobody talks about it. The minute something comes up, you'll see all the divide. You'll see all the problem. And guess what? The first thing is the diaspora is talking something, while in the country something else. They're two different issues. And some people will make it personal, even though they just joined. Yes, I agree with that. But Sam, did I answer your question earlier? Oh, for Marit, for your question, how can we stop that? Get informed. We got to get them the right information. And when you talked about the unity of the diaspora, these are the few things that we can really kick to the side, make sure that we got the right information from the ground. Yeah. Oh, and that was the word actually that I was losing, and that I can find. Yeah, your mind and emotion are twisted together. They just blend together. They just that was the word. Thank you, Sam. Well, my family, I really appreciate for your time. Well, listen, please donate as we are Swahili Nation One Africa family. This is our office. Let's get this thing happen. And if I can get something by the end of July, 1st of August, that'll be great. So let's push hard. Let's share for everybody. Your family, start with your family, friends, and your family friends. If you cannot even do it yourself, your family might do it. Maybe your friend will do it, and he's going to pass it on to others. Please share this information with everybody. Again, family, appreciate it. Sam, Marit, Abuyak, and Shoukwog. I have a lot of people that came in, so I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for keeping me company in Diaspora Talk. This is Biggie. I wish you all a wonderful morning, evening, and for those of you in Africa, I think, well, we're still, for the first time, I'm ending the show before midnight in Eastern Africa. So appreciate it. Again, I just want to make a quick prayer. May Xavier all bless us. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to discuss for Swahili Nation One Africa. You're the one that is in charge. You're the one that's going to make it happen. We trust in you. Keep us safe. Keep the family safe. Shower them with all the blessing for those that are ill, for Marie Antoinette, Kaku, Kuku, Ezana, and as well, Princess Adeka and Deborah, and as well for Mika that also ask for prayers to keep him well and healthy. May give him all the blessing and healing. Thank you, Xavier. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. All right, family. This is a wrap. Enjoy the rest of the day.